Today I'm going to show you how to design your background for your blended literacy centers. So before we start, let me give you a little tour of this page. So there's going to be these three buttons, and we are going to use these buttons in order to access the resources to create your design. Under that, there are two videos that may be helpful when you start designing yours. This first one is on ordering images and how to change the order when we're designing different decor within our blended literacy centers. And then this other one is recoloring images. And then below that, this is just an example of virtual classrooms. So you can flip through it. And as you're flipping, you can just see different ways you can decorate. One thing to note with these examples is there's a lot going on the page. So I would definitely recommend simplifying them, and less is more. But it's nice to look through and just see the fun things you can do and give you ideas as you create your background for your blended literacy centers. So now let's get into that. So right here, I've got these three buttons, and we're going to need to open up each of these links on the buttons in order to access the resources. So the first one is the virtual classroom design space. Go ahead and click that, and go ahead and click use template in the top right corner. What this is going to do for you is it's going to make a copy and give us a space that we can start creating for you. After you do that, go ahead and click the tab up at the top called Blended Literacy Centers, and let's go to the next button called Backgrounds. As that opens up, go ahead and go back to our site and click the one called Design Elements. So these are the three tabs we're going to be navigating for a few minutes. So I want to go back to the first one called Virtual Classroom Design Space. So when you get here, there are going to be some different pages, and I just want to give you a quick little tour so you know what they are. Slide 1 is going to be the directions on how to design your main navigation page. I'm actually going to show you how to do that in this video, but those directions will be there when you design your own if you need to refer back to them. Slide 2, that is going to be our example for our main navigation page, and we'll create one similar to that. And then slide 3, this is just directions on how to create your daily center task slide, and I'm going to show you that in the video today. And then slide 4, this is just an example of what a full whiteboard will look for your daily center task slide. So with that being said, we are going to now choose a background. That will be your first part. So if you go to the tab called Virtual Classroom Backgrounds, I just want you to look through and find a background that you like. I think I'm going to go with slide 10. This one works for me, so I'm going to do this one today. So what I need to do is I'm going to click on the slide I like. So if you can tell, I've got my there's a blue box around slide 10, and then I just copy it. If you are on a MacBook or a Mac, the command to copy it would be Command C. If you are on a PC, it would be Control C, or you can right click on the slide and just click copy right there. Whatever way you want to do it, you can do that, but copy that slide. Then come back to the tab called Virtual Classroom Design Space. I want you to click on your slide number 2, so it has a blue box around it. And then we are going to paste this slide on here. So you can paste it by doing Command V if you're on a Mac. You can do Control V if you're on a PC, or you can 2-finger right click and click paste. When this notification comes up, just put match style. You can match styles in this presentation, that's fine. So now we have our background slide, which is perfect. Part 2 now will be to find a whiteboard that you like. So we are done with this background. You can close this out or keep this open. I'm going to close it out just so it's not in the way, but I've already chose my background. You're going to go to this tab called Classroom Design Elements for Slides. If you go to page 2, these are all the different elements in here. I'm going to start with whiteboards there in the first couple slides, and I am going to come down here I like this whiteboard on slide 4. So I click it, it's going to put a blue box around it. Once it puts a blue box around it, I can do my shortcut to copy it. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to come back to my virtual classroom design space. And for this one, we want this whiteboard. If we go to slide 2, we want this whiteboard to be the same size as the whiteboard in our main navigation page example. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this whiteboard onto my page. And then what I want you to do is I want you to line it up to the whiteboard that's already on this page and go ahead and move. You've got some blue squares on it and you can pull them to line it up. You can also, sometimes it's easier if you start with a corner and like this bottom right corner, I hold and drag this. But go ahead and resize it so it is the size of that whiteboard right there. Once you've done that and it looks about the same size, keep that it selected so it has the blue box around it. And we're going to do our shortcut to copy. So that can be your Command C or your Control C. And then I want you to come to slide 3 and I want you to paste that on here. Please do not move the whiteboard once you paste it. This is actually going to put it in the right position for something we're going to do later. So line it up on slide 2, then paste it on slide 3 and you're good to go. So now that we've done that, we are going to go to slide number 5. And we need to make a daily task slide example. And to do this, you already have copied that whiteboard. So now we just need to paste it on here. So I'm going to paste it onto this page. And on this one, I want you to make it the size of the whiteboard on this page. Go ahead and you can stretch it if you need to, but the goal on here is to make it pretty much as big as the slide. I like to have a little bit of white edge, so you'll notice that, but make it as big as this slide. And then once you've done that, do your copy and come to slide 6 and paste it. So now you've created your daily center task slide by pasting your whiteboard full page on slide 6. So that's done. So now I'm going to go back to slide 3. You've really done the main things. You've chose a background and you've put a whiteboard on that background, and then you've made your daily center task slide background, which is perfect. This is now my favorite part. We get to go design this to look however you want and put decorations on this page. Remember that less is definitely more. You don't want too much going on your page, or it can distract from where do you want students to click and can become confusing. So I would have fun here, but you don't need a million things on the page either. So for this, on slide 3, I'm going to come back to my tab called Classroom Design Elements, and I'm going to skip the whiteboard because that's done. So I'm going to come down here and there's different rugs. On page 12, I like this rug. I think this will fit my space well. So I'm going to copy this rug, come back to my virtual classroom design space, and I'm going to paste that in there. And then you can just move it and see where you want it. You'll notice that red line right there is telling me that's centered. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm just going to move that slightly. So now I've put my rug on the page. I'm going to find some other elements I like. So I'm going to come to the classroom designs again. Those were the rugs. Let's see what we have next. So after rugs, you can add in bookshelves. They're fun. I love bookshelves in mine. There's so many things you can put on it. You can put decorations. You can put actual pictures of books and hyperlink on there. Today, though, I don't think I'm going to put a bookshelf. I'm going to look for a chair I like. Let's go with, on page 32, slide 32, I like this chair. So I click it. It puts a blue box around it. Now I can do my copy, my Command C or Control C. And then I'm going to come back to my virtual space and I'm going to paste that in there. And then you can move it however you want. If you wanted to make it slightly bigger, you could actually pull up on one of these corners and make that a little bit bigger. And there we go. That looks pretty good. After you do that, go ahead and come back to your classroom design elements. This time I'm going to look for maybe a pillow. I think they're a little bit further down. Okay, so on page 50, here's a pillow. I like this puffy one. I'm gonna copy that pillow. So I click it, puts a blue box around it, and then I can do my shortcut to copy that. Come back to my virtual classroom design space and paste that in there. And then if you notice on this, the pillow's way too big. So I'm gonna just grab the corner of that pillow and make it a little bit smaller. You can even rotate it slightly to look like it's setting there. So there's a blue dot at the top of your blue box. If you click and hold that blue dot, you can rotate it a little bit. Maybe I did too much. Just put that there and then it looks like it's setting there. Now, let's go find a couple pictures or plants. Actually, plants are next. So I'm going to come down here to slide 52. Kind of want a tall, skinny plant. So I'm going to go with this one in the middle. I'm going to copy that, come over to my virtual classroom and paste that in. And then I'm going to put that right here. Something to consider when you design this, if you're going to want to put your Bitmoji, so a little kind of cartoon character of you, you're going to want a space to put that in. And so next to this plant in this dead space right here, this would be a good spot to put a Bitmoji. So I may not want to put a bookshelf right to the left of that plant because it could be a place that I could stand in my virtual classroom. So now I probably want to find a couple pictures and then I think that will complete my design. So I'm going to come down here a little bit further. All right, so if I come to slide 71, there's a couple pictures I could use. So I like this, today is a good day for a good day. So I'm going to click it, puts a blue box around it and copy that. Now I'm going to come over to my virtual classroom on page 3, and I'm going to paste that in there. And then I can align that above my chair. Now I'm going to go find another picture. So I'll go back to the classroom design elements. I think this one looks like a good one. So I'm going to click on it, put a blue box around it and copy that. Come back to my virtual classroom design space slides and I'm going to paste that in there. And I think we're just going to put it right there. So now I've put some elements into my classroom, which I really like the look of it. And I don't feel like it's too busy. And I think I'm ready to go. So hopefully this helps you on how to create your own background for your main navigation page. And on slide 6, you should actually have now your whiteboard ready to go. Hope this video helped you in designing your background for Blended Literacy Centers. Have a good day.